Ever been a period that equates to the current period? Not necessarily in the magnitude, but at least in the fractiousness of the parties.
Well, my personal experience, so I started working on this 4 years ago, right when all of this started. So I've never actually worked on the budget in a normal cycle, but yes, I used to. And this is abnormal. This is very, very abnormal. It's never been this way. Usually, you have, of course, people with different ideological views, different political views, and different ideas of where we should spend our money. But they usually come together and they talk and they reconcile those differences.
FCNet's calling for a cut of $1 trillion over 10 years. Why not more?
Well, I think because $1 trillion was what is proposed in law. So this, actually, I can't even believe I failed to mention how momentous it is that the Pentagon has already been cut $500 billion. When I first started working on this military budget stuff, when I used to have to convince, and of course people have been doing this far longer than I have, but it was never about how much could be cut. It was just if we could cut the Pentagon budget. Now I never have to go into an office and say, oh, well, can we cut the Pentagon? Would your office support cutting the Pentagon? They're like, okay, yes, the Pentagon is going to be reduced, but now the question is about how much. And right now we're seeing hundreds of billions of dollars in reductions to the Pentagon. This has never happened on this scale before. So at any moment, it's contentious because at any moment, Congress could, as some members are trying so adamantly to do, repeal the cuts to the Pentagon and shift them to the other side. But yeah, the $1 trillion, so we support $1 trillion because $1 trillion, one, there's resources out there who have done the strategy part and said that we can do $1 trillion and we can still be safe. And two, there's a policy precedent now for it. So.
What is when you go and meet with various congressmen, what is the reaction when you go to them and say, we want to cut down on the military budget? Everybody can say, yeah, we want to do this, but then each one has a state, and each one has a district, and each one has a factory or two. Do you find that it's across the board politically that people are protecting the military installations?
I mean, yes, but then I have not gone into an office, and it shocked me. So I've been at FCNL since August, and I was doing lobbying on this before, more on a local level. So this is, I've been lobbying on this for a year now. I have not gone into an office and had somebody tell me, Republican or Democrat, that we cannot cut the Pentagon budget. They all say yes, there are savings that we can find. But then it becomes what? But I have this military base in my district, so we need to cut weapon systems. And it's like, oh well, we produce this wing with this plane, so we don't have a base, but we need to close some of these domestic bases.
So it goes across political lines.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does. And I was shocked about that.
Have there been any military cuts unrelated to sequestration and unrelated to the current drawdown of our military?
I don't think so. What's been amazing, there's been no increases. So it's the sequestration has really showed the Pentagon how to exercise restraint and not be so bloated.
This may sound a bit cynical, but, in some ways, sequestration has effectively given certain members of the House what they wanted, and therefore, they could encourage them to allow the next round of cuts to occur, because they're still getting what they want. self-destructive behavior for future voting, they're getting what they want. And with that in mind, personally, I feel we're gonna be right back here because of that. I'd love to be wrong, but, you know, they're getting what they want. They're cutting out the spending.
Yeah, I think there's definitely that aspect, and I think about that a lot as well. But what I find too is a lot of times is that the Pentagon side really holds them back from, it brings them to the table. They're saying they really don't want, the purpose of the federal government is for national defense in that line of argument. So they really are not willing to accept this high level of cuts to Pentagon spending. So hopefully that this could bring them to the table. And I mean, it is. Just yesterday, the news was reporting about how in January 2014, I don't know if any of you all saw the articles, but it's saying defense is going to be the only thing that has a sequester in 2014.
Something else will run and cut.
Everything else has already paid their fair share, yeah. So this is really, it really is going to be, it's really going to bring them to the table because come January 2014, Pentagon will be cut for 2014 by $20 billion. And they're saying domestic programs won't be cut at all, but they've already been cut by 1.5 trillion actually in such a short time frame. So.
Will they continue to use the Affordable Care Act as a hostage thing or not?
I don't know. I would hope not, but I couldn't imagine that it will come up again. Hopefully it will be in the proper channels though, and not through a budget-related item.
This after your talk, I really feel like it's nice to have you representing us. And how do you come across with them when you say you're with us, and how did you respond to
Yeah.
representation?
Well, it depends. I've rarely had a very contentious or argumentative visit because the staff are used to having these visits, and usually I lobby a lot in Faith Coalition, so with our other faith-based organizations. So a lot of my visits, they have an air of respect for the faith community, but I think they listen a little bit more because I'll lobby with I do individual lobbying as which is still faith-based lobbying, but then I do some coalition lobbying with Episcopal Church, the Presbyterian Church USA, and some different Catholic organizations.
So you guys all go as a group, or
we go as a group, yeah, and we lift up these issues as interfaith coalition.
We're in luck. It says here.
Yes. Drum roll.
The U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, I guess all our problems are solved. It says the government shall, it's got a 2-year limit on raising an army and funding it. So,
Okay.
gee, I'm glad we settled that.
Okay. Thank you.
I want to, again, thank you, Tila, for coming tonight. It's been a very enlightening presentation and discussion. And there are a number of pamphlets that Tila brought and bumper stickers saying war is not the answer along the table over there. And I want to invite everyone to have some snacks here, and maybe there could be some further discussion individually.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.